So, as discussed last night, at approximately 7:04 p.m. Sunday evening, Bend Police responded to multiple 911 calls reporting shots fired at the Forum Shopping Center in Northeast Bend. As officers responded, we had reports of at least one, possibly two active shooters. Our investigation has shown that the shooter entered from the Fox Hollow Apartments behind the Forum Shopping Center. The shooter moved through the parking lot from Costco on the west side, shooting rounds from an AR-15 style rifle. The shooter entered the west entrance of Safeway. Inside the entrance of Safeway, the shooter shot one person. That person was transported by medics, but is now deceased. The shooter continued through Safeway firing, then shot and killed a second person inside the store. As our officers responded, they entered Safeway while shots were still being fired. They found the apparent shooter dead inside Safeway. They found an AR-15 style rifle and a shotgun in close proximity to the shooter. Bend Police did not fire any shots at the scene. We had witnesses who believed there may be a second shooter. We have not found any evidence of that. Officers from every agency in Central Oregon, as well as the FBI, Bend Fire, and other agencies were on scene and assisting. We're very appreciative for that help. As we were responding, we received additional information about possible shots fired in the area of 9th and Reed Market, but those reports were investigated and we have no evidence of additional shootings or of any other shooters last night. So here's some updated information I'd like to share with you, some new information. First of all, we've identified the two victims and their next of kin have been notified. The first victim, who was shot near the entrance to the store, has been identified as a customer, Glenn Edward Bennet, an 84-year-old Bend resident. Our officers, as well as medics from Bend Fire and Rescue, attempted to perform life-saving measures at the scene. That person was transported but did not survive his injuries. The second victim, a Safeway employee, was shot near the rear of the store in the produce section. He has been identified as Donald Ray Surrett Jr, a 66-year-old Bend resident. Surrett engaged with the shooter, attempted to disarm him, and may very well have prevented further deaths. Mr. Surrett acted heroically during this terrible incident. The shooter is identified as 20-year-old Bend resident Ethan Blair Miller. We will identify him once by name, and that's it. We determined the shooter lived in the Fox Hollow Apartments, and we secured that area as well. Our officers were on scene within 2 to 3 minutes from the time that the first 911 call was dispatched, and we entered the store within 1 minute. When our officers arrived, they could hear gunshots in the Safeway, and they entered the store to confront the shooter while shots were still being fired. Our officers entered from both the front and the rear of the store in a solo entry. Our investigation shows that the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. From the time of first dispatch until officers advised the suspect was down was 4 minutes.